Hello everyone, my name is Vinny Sethi. I hope you all are staying healthy. Today we are going to talk about causes, consequences, remedies and tests for detecting heteroscedasticity. As we know, heteroscedasticity is statistical condition of regression analysis where variance of error term is not a constant. Consequences of heteroscedasticity are biased standard errors. Heteroscedasticity lead to biased standard errors for OLS coefficient, and biased standard errors make our hypothesis testing invalid. But how? Because biased standard error make our t-test and f-test unreliable, no longer blue. If heteroscedasticity is present, then OLS estimator no longer fulfill condition of being blue. Blue represent best linear unbiased estimator. An inefficient prediction. Prediction made from heteroscedasticity model will be inefficient because it consists a high level of variance. Now we will see causes of heteroscedasticity. Outlier. Outliers are value which lies far away from majority of data. Outliers are values which lies far away from majority of data. Here we have sequence 3, 5, 8, 9, 11, 80. These numbers are close to each other, but 80 is far away from majority of data. 80 will be called outliers, and outliers lead to heteroscedasticity. Incorrect model specification also lead to heteroscedasticity. For example, you use linear model to fit data which are generated by non-linear system. Cross-sectional data also lead to heteroscedasticity because you are observing so many individuals at single point of time. Skewness in distribution also lead to heteroscedasticity. If your dependent and independent variable are not normally distributed, they have skewed distribution. It also lead to heteroscedasticity. Incorrect pooling of data also lead to heteroscedasticity. For example, you are using data from both small and large companies in same model. Error learning effect. As people improve, as people grow, their error decrease, not remain constant. If error is not constant, eventually lead to heteroscedasticity. Omitted variable. Sometimes we don't include important independent variable. Obviously, it will lead to heteroscedasticity. Now we'll see remedies for heteroscedasticity. Robust standard errors. Robust standard errors are specially designed to be valid as sample size grow. Robust standard errors are specially designed to be valid as sample size grow. Even variance of error terms are not constant. That's why it ensures standard error cover their true value. If standard error cover their true value, then our statistical tests like t-test, f-test also become reliable. Second, remedy transformation. You can transform your data. For example, take square root or logarithm of variable. This can compress the scale of variable, eventually reduce variance. Next remedy, generalized least square method. Generalized least square method is also process of transforming original variable so that transformed model satisfy assumption of homoscedasticity. If assumption of homoscedasticity is satisfied, then obviously there is no heteroscedasticity. Now is the important test for detection of heteroscedasticity. First is Boisch-Pagan test. How we conduct a Boisch-Pagan test? First of all, set a null hypothesis. Null hypothesis represent homoscedasticity is present. Then set alternative hypothesis. Alternative hypothesis represent heteroscedasticity is present. Then estimate original regression model, calculate square residuals, run auxiliary regression, then calculate test statistic and p-value. If p-value is less than a significance level, then you will reject your null hypothesis. Null hypothesis represent homoscedasticity is present. If you reject null hypothesis, that means there is heteroscedasticity. If p-value is greater than significance level, then you are failed to reject null hypothesis and there is no heteroscedasticity. Next is a White test. We mainly use White test in order to detect a non-linear and interactive form of heteroscedasticity. But how this test work? It involves auxiliary regression of square residuals And null hypothesis represent homoscedasticity, alternative hypothesis represent heteroscedasticity, pros very flexible based on few assumption, easy implementation, cons require large sample size and very sensitive to outliers. We have already discussed about outliers. Next is Goldfield quantum test. We use Goldfield quantum test when heteroscedasticity is related to specific independent variable. We use Goldfield quantum test when heteroscedasticity is related to specific independent variable. But how we conduct this test? First of all, set null hypothesis which represent homoscedasticity and alternative hypothesis which represent heteroscedasticity. Then order the data by independent variable which suspect heteroscedasticity. Then omit central observation. But why we omit central observation? Because it increase 20% test power. That's why we omit central observation. Then split data and run separate regression and calculate test statistic and interpret a result. If F statistic is greater than critical F value, then you will reject your null hypothesis. But if F statistic is less than critical F value, then you are failed to reject null hypothesis. This is all about heteroscedasticity. I think you got it, and thank you so much for watching this video. Bye. Take care.